GOML 2022 may have been the craziest tournament of the year thus far. Bugs, upsets, and mental damage all took place in this tournament's top 8, culminating with Mango and iBDW tying for 5th, Zane taking 3rd after an unbelievable set with Jmook, and Hungrybox re-emerging to dominance as the winner of the second Panda Cup event. Right in the middle of all this peak melee, a new threat emerged, laying a stake to the claim as the world's best Fox dittoer. Let's talk about Joshman, Australia's #1 player and GOML odds defier. Being from a smaller melee scene means you have to work extra hard to stand alongside the NA greats, but Joshman has done exactly that, going from the #2 player in Australia in 2019 to becoming #1 and earning 2 summit qualifications to now, where Joshman has set the record as the first player from Australia to compete in a North American melee top 8. With Summit 12 and 13, Joshman emerged as an underdog in the scene, holding close battles with players like SFAT and Jmook, and earning a strong victory over Ginger, an A-tier player for the MPGR contenders list. Unfortunately, Joshman's Summit 13 run was cut remarkably short due to potential COVID exposure, leaving everyone to wonder just how much he'd improved in the short time between Summit 12 and 13. Joshman had been staying in the US for the better part of 2022. Australia's #1 player was actively leveling up during his holiday in the US, frequently playing some of the world's best players and grinding the game on his stream.
Jeffy's a great guess.
He also attended a number of events. Most notably before GOML, he placed 9th at Battle of BC4 and in the top 3 at a number of SoCal weeklies, emerging quickly like a hidden boss in this new and densely competitive area. His GOML performance, however, is what has solidified him as one of the best Fox players in the world. Joshman had a long and arduous road on his way to breaking through an NA top 8 for his region. To make it into top 16, he had a nail-biting Game 5 last stock set with AMSA before falling into the loser's bracket after another close 3-2 loss to Jmook. But Joshman's run through GOML came with a blessing and encouragement from the face of Mango Fan himself. After facing Jmook Sheik, Joshman would go on to play 3 Fox Dittos in a row, first taking out the database defier Null in a 3-0 to make it into top 8, before facing off against Moki and iBDW. Let's take a look at these next incredible Ditto matches. GOML top 8 began with Joshman vs Moki, Canada's greatest Fox with the home field advantage. The first game played was explosive, each stock taken being answered by a stock taken in exchange. It came down to a last stock situation, and then the game crashed. Thankfully, this was not a situation like Pound 4's notorious .9 knockback controversy, where it took 9 years to realize that a set played between Armada and Silent Spectre had been played on .9 knockback and not the standard 1.0. So, with not too much loss for this Fox Ditto, handwarmers started up again, and then we were in the true Game 1. This time, Joshman pulled ahead quickly and efficiently, starting the game off with a stunning 0 to death sequence. Joshman was incredible off the grab this game, opting to use back throw as a mix-up and punishing even the greatest DI on up throw with a combo extension or kill confirm. Moki looked tilted during Game 1, including a visible reaction in the player cam to close the game out. Perhaps it was due to the setup freezing in the middle of the game, or getting battlefielded while recovering on his 3rd stock, but Moki was clearly upset after Game 1 and swiftly counterpicked Pokemon Stadium for Game 2. Game 2 began the same way as Game 1, including another 0 to death sequence. Joshman's ability to drop down with aerials and get the grab dictated the set, and showcased just how good he is in the mirror match. Additionally, Joshman was adept at utilizing forward tilt as an edgeguard tool, or as he dubbed it, the Executioner's Blade. The remainder of Game 2 was a tense back and forth between the two players, culminating in another fantastic victory by Joshman. Game 3 saw Moki bring us back to Pokemon Stadium, proving that he didn't consider the stage to be his issue for his loss in Game 2. Joshman was once again explosive to start this Game 3, taking Moki's first 2 stocks within 40 seconds of the match beginning. Moki was able to get some momentum going, after solidifying an edge guard with a wild offstage back air, and after some scrappy neutral and a shine spike, Moki was able to close Game 3 out with an up throw into up air to keep from being swept by Joshman. Instead of opting to go to Final Destination, Joshman took Game 4 to Dreamland, utilizing the extra space along with the platforms to smother Moki's game plan. As in the story with this set, Game 4 opened with yet another strong kill conversion sequence by Joshman, managing to get the first stock with relatively low percent in every single game. He followed up Moki's second stock with a beautiful combo, with the back throw mix-up into a tech chase up smash to clinch a 2-stock lead with less than a minute gone from the clock. Although Moki was able to take Joshman's first stock, he unfortunately looked quite deflated in Game 4, even running off the stage with a forward air into self-destruct on his last stock of the set. Moki is a beast of a Fox main, often known as the king of Fox clips, but sometimes in Melee, mental game matters more. In a game as quick and as intimate as Melee, it's often the case that in order to succeed, you really need two nearly superhuman traits: godlike tech skill and precision, and the ability to overcome your mental blocks within either minutes or usually seconds, all to keep your run alive in every set of a tournament. For Joshman, his approach to keeping a strong mental game is interesting, but, well, not advisable for non-professionals. As Joshman stated in his post-game interview with Turn Down for Walt,
I was talking to someone before about how my new strat is to go near death by not drinking or eating, like water or eating prior to the tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, so what happens is, you know how like your whole life kind of flashes before your eyes before you die?
Every day.
What they were going to do on the setup was flashing before my eyes. So when Cody wanted to run in, I was just like, yeah, obviously. Like, I've seen that 20 times already. Yeah, just staying at that perfect, not dying, but nearly dying was really important for me.
So, like, just balancing, like, life and death type situations.
Exactly, 'cause most people, like, look after yourself, eat healthy, you know, this and that. And it just didn't work for me. So I thought, what if I just fucking run my brain into the ground? And it worked great.
ill-advisable mental prep aside, Joshman certainly showcased an almost unparalleled skill in the Fox Ditto. And while he took out Null to make it into top 8 and just took out Moki 3-1 to advance to losers quarters, Joshman still had to face the greatest Fox player in North America, iBDW. Prior to his losers match with Joshman, iBDW had a rough facing versus the soon-to-be GOML winner Hungrybox, which, similar to the last set we discussed, seemed to have a strong element of the mental game at play. Usually, iBDW has the upper hand against the CEO of Clutch, often being heralded as the puff solution, but this time, things were off. After rule set checks and mid-set pop-offs, an intense Game 5 concluded with a Hungrybox victory and a historic move by iBDW, the counter pop-off. For Joshman and his actively growing record of success in the Fox Ditto, the iBDW loss was an opportunity. Following suit with how the Moki set played out, Joshman was able to secure the first stock against iBDW relatively early into Game 1 on Dreamland. After an explosive start from Joshman, Game 1's momentum swung like a pendulum between the two players, but it was Joshman who came out on top of Game 1 after administering the Executioner's Blade into a drop-down Shine Spike. Nodding his head, iBDW immediately counterpicked Battlefield for Game 2 and began the game with his own 0-to-death on Joshman. The second game in the set showed just how evenly matched these two players are, as they continued to steal momentum from one another and trade stocks consistently throughout the game. When one player came out with an advantage and a stock lead, the other answered back almost immediately. After some solid neutral from both players, iBDW pulled out ahead, utilizing his strong punish game against Fox to secure a 2-stock victory. Game 3 brings us to Pokemon Stadium, where Joshman eked out the first stock after a custom up tilt into back air into offstage falling up air combo. After the first stock, all of the momentum entered Joshman's court and refused to leave for the remainder of the game. While the first two games saw these players going blow for blow, iBDW failed to get anything substantial started against Joshman, culminating in what can only be referred to as what the commentators called a little trick shot off stage to end the game. Game 4 of the set had iBDW counterpicking to Dreamland, with Joshman once again taking an early lead after a crucial and patient callout of iBDW's shortened side B recovery. This game mirrored the first two of the set, with both players again going shot for shot and keeping the pace completely even. iBDW was able to bring it to a last stock situation with an expert jump read Shine Spike to close out Joshman's third stock. Despite being one of the expected tournament champions, iBDW exited at 5th place, losing to Joshman 3-1 after a brutal dash attack into up smash conversion. Mental games or not, Joshman exhibited unbelievable skill and growth this weekend, truly earning the victories he received, as well as his new fan base stronghold in Britain. As the 13th seed of the event, Joshman bested both the 8th and 2nd seeds, who were also the top solo foxes in attendance. With many unwilling to play the high-stakes, highly volatile matchup that is the Fox Ditto, after GOML 2022, you've got to wonder if this makes Joshman one of the best in the Ditto. As Joshman put it,
Foxitos are just a matchup where you roll a die and whoever like, comes up face up wins. So I'm just like, sweet, I can just win this.
Regardless, this may have been one tournament, but after beating 3 of the best solo foxes in the world, this is no fluke. Unfortunately, after running the Fox Gauntlet of Null, Moki, and iBDW, Joshman faced GOML's first seed Zane, who basically eats fox mains for breakfast. Zane 3-0'd Joshman, ultimately ending this Fox's GOML run at 4th. An incredible showing for Australia's #1 player, Joshman shocked and surprised spectators from around the world with his stunning and technical fox performance. Although he's heading back down under and won't be competing in North America anytime soon, we can't wait to see what Joshman has in store the next time he attends a major tournament. For more analytical Smash data, like this video and subscribe to PGstats.